All right, with that, let's cut across live to Moscow, where Russian President Vladimir Putin is addressing. This is his annual year-ender address.
I would like to remind that the first direct line was hosted by us. But, well, I have a question from our newspaper. I would like to know how now is developing or implementing the program of the Time of Heroes. You were the initiator of this program. Do you follow this project? How people participating in this program cope with their work? Those people who are now working as the leaders of regions, how justified is this program, and how long we're going to have this program? What other postings we're going to see? Thank you. You know, first of all, let's remember the participants of the Great Patriotic War. Those who were fighting in the fronts of the Great Patriotic War came back. They reached great results in culture, in science and education. When I went to university, I had teachers who were participating in the Great Patriotic War. We respected them greatly. There was those who were gravely injured. I had a teacher who didn't have a leg and he had a prosthesis, but he was an excellent expert in his sphere. We all remember him with gratitude. And we remember the knowledge that he gave us. Let's remember Mr. Nikulin. And there are so many scientists who excelled in their spheres and truly truly were important for the development of our country. And the participants of the special military operation. Let's take Narana Alexeyevich. I couldn't recognize him really because the hall is very big. But he was given a mic, and there is a camera, people knowing what they're doing. But when he entered the Security Council in Kremlin, he spoke there, and everyone was looking at him very carefully. There is great potential that the guys from the special military operation have. But this is one thing to fight, and there is other thing to be a leader of a team or be a head of a big company or a region or a ministry. You need a talent for that. Of course, there are hundreds of thousands of soldiers in the special military operations zone. Not everyone wants to have such a career, civil career, but those who want and those who have potential, who have education, experience, are ready to receive it. It means that the government must do everything to give such opportunities to these people that are truly ready to fight for the interests of their own country. I've already explained how this idea appeared. I met young people, students. I looked at them. I looked at how they were communicating their ideas. What were their goals? What are the promising goals for the country, by their opinion? So when I listened to them, I had this idea. It's important to give opportunity to such such young people, to stimulate them. Of course, we need to prepare them, to train them, without any doubt. That is why we started this program. I thank the heads of the regions of the Russian Federation for promoting this program regionally. And it is truly functioning, and I'm truly glad for the people who participated in the first stage and the second stage. Some of them have become governors, vice ministers. They work in our biggest companies. Several people work in the presidential administration, and they are truly successful. Of course, there are some difficulties. Some of them may try to work in some other sphere, but the program itself is functioning successfully. Mr. Putin, colleagues, there is a very important piece of news from Brussels. There was the failure, it was a real failure to take their assets. They cannot steal them, but they're trying, but still they cannot do this. Well, stealing is not really correct definition for that. Stealing, this is when someone is doing it secretly, and they are doing it openly. This is a robbery. This is a robbery. Why they fail to do this? Why they fail to implement this robbery? Because the consequences can be really harsh for the robbers. Why is that? It's really hard to do that, because they declare that they're not going to rob it, to take it. The idea is to make a credit using our assets, but you cannot just give out a loan. This will make consequences for the budget of a country, and it increases the budget debt of every country. If someone gives a loan, even secured by our foreign assets, it must be reflected in the budget of a country that does it.
For example, in France, the public debt is 120%, and ours is at 17%. And our budget deficit is 2.6%. Next year is going to be 1.6%. In France, it is 6% per annum. So, and now they will assume additional liabilities, and it'll be quite hard to pass such a budget. And all these are the reasons for the difficulty of taking decisions related to the robbery of someone else's assets, but there will be graver consequences for those who might endeavor that. This will not be a blow to their image, but this will subvert all the confidence with the euro area. Actually, very many countries store their foreign reserves in the eurozone. Many of those having spare money, like the oil-producing countries, if they have a look at what might be happening, they will have doubts, and they already have doubts and concerns. But what if this happens? You know, well begun, it can be further replicated, they might think. Now some people dislike the conduct of the special military operation and the fight against neo-Nazism in Ukraine, and next someone might not like the fight, the struggle with the LGBT movement. And the Muslim countries have stringent laws to this respect, and this might be another pretext for the alleged expropriation of sovereign assets. Why not? And they might find other pretexts. So that will entail image-related losses and direct financial monetary losses related to the contemporary financial architecture. And the main thing is, no matter what they steal, sooner or later they'll have to give it back. And most importantly, we will go to courts to protect our interests.
That is Russian President Vladimir Putin talking about a plethora of issues, several questions being thrown at him by the world media. And this is, remember, his year-ender address. He's talking about Europe, the kind of debt that several countries within the European Union face. Also, of course, saying that we are ready to end the conflict, but there are conditions to be met. We'll keep getting you more details on Vladimir Putin's address. Right now, let's shift our focus to other updates from around the world.